This is a 2015 Subaru Crosstrek. On this car, AC is not blowing cold, and we believe there's a problem in the evaporator. The evaporator is behind the glove box, so to get to it, we're going to have to disassemble the glove box and some stuff behind the glove box, so I'm going to show you how. The first step, even though we think that most of the refrigerant has leaked out already, is we're going to suck out any remaining refrigerant using a AC recovery machine. Next, we're going to disconnect the lines from the expansion valve and the evaporator, and we're going to remove the expansion valve. Behind the AC lines, the expansion valve is held in with two 4mm Allen key bolts. The expansion valve comes off just like this, and now we can remove the evaporator lines from the inside. Now we've done our business in the engine bay, we can take care of this glove box. It has some Phillips head screws that hold it in. By the way, the glove box door just swings out if you compress these tabs that are on either side. Under the glove box, right there, we have a kick panel that is just held on with three little press-in push pins. There's also this side trim panel here that must be released from the glove box, and to remove it, we just have to pull back this weather strip. And this trim strip at the top of the glove box must be removed, and lo and behold, behind it one more Phillips head screw. Now we have a little bit better view, and the evaporator is way back there, and to get to it we have to remove all of this stuff. Before I mess with any of the electronics, I'm going to disconnect the battery negative. These two harness connectors disconnect pretty easy. You just press the center tab on each one. These two tabs here and here allow me to just remove this whole relay box disconnected from the air box. Now for this ECU thingy right here, it has a bolt way back there in the bottom, and then another bolt way up there in the top. If I undo those two bolts, then the whole thing with this supporting bracket can come out. So after the ECU and its bracket swing out, there is one final hidden bolt up there for the plastic housing. For the bolt that's in the top right hand corner, I popped off the speaker, the tweeter, and that makes the bolt location visible. You can see that stud right there, so it makes it easier to guide a socket onto the nut that sits on that stud, and that stud is holding the you can see the black plastic housing. This is how I reach that top stud and nut of the fan housing with some very long extensions strung together going all the way through the dash. And here is the fan housing with the filter housing. Now I've finally arrived to the evaporator housing, and it has a plug for the temperature sensor wire that goes through right there. It has another plug for the resistor, fan motor resistor, that goes right there. And then around both sides of the housing there are screws that clamp it in, and there are hidden screws between the housing and the firewall that you cannot see, and I will show them to you after I remove the housing. I've removed this cover that goes over the tubes that go through the firewall. Now I can fasten the 4mm Allens, two of them, that hold the tube to the evaporator. And since I've already unfastened the expansion valve, I can just remove this tube. So this is the evaporator housing clamshell. And here's what you need to know in order to remove it. See right in there, there's where that Phillips head screw is. It's near the top on the inside facing the firewall, and you can just sneak in a Phillips head screwdriver into there, and you cannot see it, so you just have to do it by feel. You feel when the tip of the screwdriver engages into that screw, and then you can unfasten that screw. So that's it for this Phillips head screw, but there's one more thing. There's one more thing, and it is right down here on this tab. Is going to be this spring clip. See this spring clip? It's going to be mounted just like this. Okay, so it's clipping the two halves of the clamshell together. So you have to reach in with a flathead screwdriver and pop this off. And when you do that, that hidden Phillips head screw and this hidden clip, then this clamshell can come off. So here's the evaporator. I've yanked it out of there, and I just want to show you something. Right here is where the tubes go in, and this little tube here on the high pressure side, it had an O-ring. This is the O-ring. This O-ring is completely cooked. It has lost all flexibility, and that's why we had a leak back here. Note how this is just inserted here with two blades, and on the new evaporator we're just gonna push this in through the fins in the same position. This is the thermocouple temperature sensor. Now that I have it out here in the light, you can see exactly where it was leaking. Down in the corner, and this is the UV dye that I put in, this green stuff. So there was indeed very good reason to replace this evaporator. Here is the new evaporator. It's UAC, Universal AC. This is a part number. I've had good luck with this brand before. I'm gonna include the link in the video description. This one came sealed like this, which is always a good sign. So this is the tube that goes between the evaporator back there and the expansion valve, which sits right at the firewall. And I ended up having to replace this. This is an OEM item. I'll show you why I had to replace it. So right here, you look how this is cracked. And I'm not really sure how this happened. It may be that it was over tightened at some point, but anyway, these threads were stripped and the expansion valve could no longer be tightened properly onto this tube. So this was causing a leak right there where the O-rings would go. This is how the expansion valve fits onto the tube, and the O-rings have to fit around those tubes and fit into the expansion valve. If they are too thick, they will not fit into the expansion valve. This is the O-ring set that is specific to this vehicle, and it has O-rings of different thicknesses in it of the correct size. Now you want to use the thinner ones on both ends of this tube. And there's my little helper there, brand new apprentice, little kitten, just been working in the shop for about 2 months now, and her name is Vicky, and she is a tortoise shell. I will include links to the kitten and to the O-ring set and the OEM tube here. This is a dealer only item. I'll include part numbers so that if needed you can purchase one. Here is my new expansion valve, and here is my other assistant. and the new expansion valve is attached at the firewall to the tubes with the correct O-rings. And down here, the evaporator and its housing are all back together. All that remains is to put the fan box and everything with the glove box back in, and we'll be done. Everything is back together. The sound that you can hear is this little vacuum pump that is putting the system under vacuum, and we're going to hold it there for about 45 minutes. Make sure there are no leaks before refilling the system, then we'll be good to go. The system is now charged up. You can see high side pressure is a little bit over 200, and the low side pressure is what is it, about 35 psi, and it's cooling nicely on the inside. The temperature in the cabin is in the high 40s, which is a good place for it. So that's it for this video. We've completed the repair. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, please leave them underneath.